Humans of the cardboard. Even more news, man. When it rains, it pours, and Konami has been dropping nothing but awesome stuff. If you are a Magistus fan, I have not read the cards here. I actually was under the impression that there was a good chance that the two Magistus cards we saw 2 days ago were going to be the only Magistus cards in Premium Pack 25, and that even the Zorua artwork on the cover may have just been an alt art of Zora. But no, it's confirmed it's a new fusion and a new spell card. We're going to take a look at those, as well as some other premium pack reveals. Let's get started with some new machine support. There's actually a third DD card, which is pretty hype because I know a lot of people really like DDs. And then we'll finish with the Magistus stuff to see how good those are. But keep in mind, these reveals all got like kind of dropped together, even the ones that we've already seen. So technically there's only 5 new cards that we need to go over. We've already read Motor Kaiser. He kind of gives you an additional normal summon for a Dark Machine, and then can like destroy a monster you control to get a token. Sure. Alright, next up we have 2-for-1 Repair Job. Cool. Normal spell, you can only use one of its 2 effects per turn, and once that turn, so you can't use both effects in the same turn, you gotta pick one. First effect reads, banish 1 Dark Machine monster from your graveyard to special summon 1 monster from your hand, deck, or grave that mentions engine token. Okay, that goes back to I can't remember his name, but there's that machine guy. He deals with summoning engine tokens. I don't know how many other monsters there are that deal with summoning engine tokens, but that's kind of cool. They could start making this into like a full-on archetype. That's not a bad effect, period. You know what I mean? Orcus, Dark Machines, right? You could just combine decent generic Dark Machines, and this card could be pretty cool if they actually have some payoff. So that'd be cool. Second effect, if a face-up Dark Machine monster you control is sent to the graveyard while this card's in your graveyard, except by battle, you can banish this card to special summon an engine token in attack position. Again, you can't use both effects in the same turn, but sure, on a later turn, just getting an extra token on the field, that seems fine. This card seems interesting, for sure. If they actually want to make a full-on archetype out of engine tokens, this card's kind of cool. Next up here, we have Scrap Garage. I assume this is going to be kind of in the same realm here. You can only use, it's normal trap. You can only use the first and second effect once per turn. If a face-up machine monster you control is destroyed by battle or effect, you can target up to 3 Dark Machines in your graveyard, special summon them, but change their attack and defense to 0. Doesn't even negate them. Just reborns 3 Dark Machines from grave. You do have to destroy a machine you control, and it's a trap, so you have to set it, but it's pretty decent payoff, all things considered. And second effect, you can banish this card from your graveyard, then target a machine monster you control, destroy it. Okay, so this is a trap, so that should even be a quick effect as well. Kind of interesting. Nothing crazy, but like interesting cards for sure for Dark Machine stuff. We have already seen this guy. I already said this thing looks like a Xenomorph, but with a microscope lens is on him. Pretty cool. That's DD Count Surveyor. We've already went over DD Scale Surveyor. Actually pretty decent cards. Especially this guy, the Count. And lastly, we have DD Extra Surveyor. So, in my opinion, the least cool looking one, but that's fine. He is a level 5 Dark Fiend monster, of course. 1,000 attack, 0 defense, Pendulum Scale 4. Kind of an awkward scale. But that's not always the end of the world. You can only use the pendulum effect on this card once per turn. If a face-up monster, card, or cards your opponent controls is destroyed by battle or effect. So any face-up monster card your opponent has is destroyed by battle or effect. Target a DDD monster you control. Banish 2 cards from your pendulum zone, and if you do that, target can make a second attack during each battle phase this turn. Okay, I mean that's like, it's battle shenanigans, nothing crazy. You can only use the first and second effects of this card once per turn. First effect, you can discard this card to add a face-up DD Pendulum monster from your extra deck to your hand. That could be part of a combo, but I don't know like how crucial that is. Like, actually, if this just added from deck, that'd be crazy, because that'd be like almost a better form of the guy above. But it's adding back, so it's more of a recovery card than an actual like card that's pushing your engine and plussing you like that. But okay. And second effect, if this card becomes banished, you can banish cards from the top of your opponent's deck equal to the number of face-up pendulum monsters in their extra deck. To their extra deck. Then you can make 1 DD monster you control gain 200 attack for each card banished. Yeah, this one's the worst one of the three. Okay, even though this one got saved for last, the other two are seem like immensely better for the actual DD archetype. I don't like this last effect that like it's like even though you're if this card gets banished, you're then checking your opponent's number of face-up pendulum monsters in their extra deck. Not that many decks play pendulums these days. They're just not as good. So, like, is that 0 almost all the time? That's terrible. This card just seems like very largely unplayable for DDs. The other two are solid though, so still be happy about those if you're a DD player. All right, now for the meat and potatoes here. We've already gone over the new Crowley. He's a Poplar. If you add him to protect the hand he summons, then he allows you to fuse into a Magistus or an Invoked Fusion, which is pretty good. The one thing that was kind of annoying is that in this, maybe there's a world where the translation comes out and it's confirmed that this says monster cards. It just kind of seemed like for Magistus, it would have made perfect sense if this card allowed you to fuse with monster cards, which would also include you being able to fuse with monsters in your spell and trap zone, but unfortunately it doesn't seem to include those. But still a good card overall. All right, let's read our new boss monster. I don't know if he's actually a boss monster, but whatever. Zora, the Magistus. Okay, hold on. Let's go down here. Magistus Victorious Verithragna. Okay. He's a level 8 fire spellcaster, fusion, 29/29. He takes any Magistus monster plus any fusion, synchro, exceed, or link monster. That's really nice. Especially since I mean, it's not super nice, but it's easy enough, right? This should be easy enough to make. The new Crowley helps it. Again, it would have been even better if the Crowley maybe gets translated in a way where it can actually use your spell and trap monsters as material, but we'll see. Still pretty easy to make though overall. You can only use the first and second effect of this card once per turn. You can target one effect monster your opponent controls or in your graveyard and equip that effect monster to this card. Okay. That's kind of cool. So you can equip any of your Magistus cards from grave, any of your ones that give bonus effects from grave, and they also just become, fuel for potentially Chirozzo, fuel for potentially Snake Eyes Damned Dragon when he comes out, stuff like that. That's pretty solid. Second effect, when a monster effect is activated, quick effect, you can send one face-up Magistus monster card you control to the graveyard, negate that effect, then you can destroy one card your opponent controls. Nice. That's actually almost like the rank 10 that Ubel uses. It negates, and then it doesn't have to, but like you can, if you want, you can like also pop a card. And I love that it doesn't have to destroy the card you're negating. So if your opponent for example, they try to Nibiru, you can negate the Nibiru in hand and then just pop a different card on the field. That's not the best scenario because they might not have anything on field in that scenario, but just anyway. That's pretty good. This card doesn't really have any great effects while it's equipped, but it is an improvement, and potentially ending on boards where you can end on this Zorua plus the Synchro Zorua is pretty decent, because this guy's going to give you some pretty decent insulation and bonus interruption on top of, the floodgatey effects that the other Zorua is going to give you. So, yeah, that's one of the problems, is that other Zorua is actually pretty strong, but the deck has never been good enough to facilitate, multiple other interactions to protect him. He's a pretty strong floodgate, but he's so fragile. He's outed by so many different things. So having options like these to put aside next to him to make him harder to out is just really nice. So we'll take it. That's a pretty good boss monster, I think. We already saw this card. Not much to go over here. Helps Magistus and Witchcrafter. You can E-Telly when your opponent activates a card or effect, so it's a trigger E-Telly, which is kind of interesting, but it's pretty easy. Your opponent has to activate something. And then the other one lets you Foolish any spell or spellcaster, which also has some utility. But the final one here we have is this one. This is Magia Magic Thor Hammer. As a normal spell, this card is always treated as a Magistus and Endymion card. Very interesting. It's a Magistus and Endymion. I think does the Endymion spell, the Endymion search spell, does that card only add Endymion monsters, or does that add any card? Because if this card's crazy, then we could potentially, you know what I mean, search this off it. If its card's great enough, then we're fine. All right, anyway, so it's treated as both. The main thing is Magistus, so it's searchable off Magistus stuff. First effect. Send one other face-up Magistus card you control to the graveyard, or remove 2 spell counters from your field to activate one of these effects, but you can only use each effect once per turn. So again, kind of like the other one, you can activate both effects in the same turn, but you can only do each effect once per turn. Okay, so you can either special summon a spellcaster monster from your hand, face-up extra deck, or graveyard. Okay, so it's a quick effect monster. Oh, sorry, this is a normal spell, not a quick play. So you can either reborn, you can either summon any spellcaster from hand or graveyard, or if you're playing Endymion, which you won't be in Magistus, I don't think, but extra deck potentially as well, so fine. Decent extender, or banish one other card on the field. This one I think is a miss for me. Yeah, I think it is. Like non-target banish is like decent, but if this card's not a quick play, I don't know if I really care. Like it's a fine removal card you can get, but like you have to give up a resource. And now that we have stuff like Chorozo and Snake Eyes Damn Dragon, I'd rather be using those cards to, like, you know what I mean, like improve my board state, not send them, basically send an active resource that we could use to make something else to 2 for 1 or 1 for 2, I guess. Like send 2 cards to out 1 on the opponent's side. It just doesn't seem good enough. This card's probably a big whiff for me. Big whiff on the spell, which is fine. The spell is less important than the extract monster. This is a bigger piece anyway. So new boss monster, that's really solid. Which basically takes us to the position of, like, I didn't even expect to get any more from Premium Pack 2025. Now we're just sitting and waiting on the Link 2. The Link 2 needs to be needs to be awesome. I was thinking about making a full video just talking, and I know I kind of reacted to the news of the Link 2, but really going in deep on like exactly what I want the Link 2 to do. And honestly, with this new information, there's even like less that the Link 2 needs to do, I think, because this specifically this fusion does help cover some stuff. So really cool. Might do a whole video on that, so stay tuned for that. While we're waiting to find out, we're not going to find out that card for another like 2.5 weeks, but still might as well make that video now while I'm like really excited for it. But cool to see, honestly. As far as these new cards go, the Zoro is really the only card that I think that's that interesting. The other cards that we revealed the other night are way more interesting than the ones we got tonight. Like the 2 DDDs are cool, and the Crowley and the quick play spell were actually pretty good. Unfortunately, the other ones were kind of whiffs here, but that's okay because they've started off with some pretty good bangers out the gate anyway. So yeah, that's it for me tonight, guys. Really excited about this new fusion. That's really, really solid for Magistus. Just a really solid additional end board piece and good fusion target. You know, I was like, are we really going to have to be making Iwas with the new Crowley? And this guy is one safer, making a monster negate, so safer against Nibiru, and also just being a really good interruption card as part of your end board anyway. I think this card's pretty cool. So there you go. I'm out of here for today. Thank you so much for watching, as always, guys. Subscribe to the channel for more things from me down the line, and let me know your thoughts down below. What do you think about these 2 new Magistus cards? Let me know about the 3rd DD monster, and then let me know if you think these these machine cards have anything going on with them. I'd love to hear your thoughts down below, but I'll see you in the next one. Peace.